All right, good morning. It's Tuesdays with Todd, but hey, listen, today, I don't know. Sometimes I'm fired up, and today's one of those fired up, and it's not even a Friday. So my inbox is inundated with all of these emails talking about, companies that have massive layoffs and companies that, their model is evidently not working. And we've got companies who have lost millions, hundreds of millions, billions. We've got companies now that are being delisted from the stock exchange. These are, come on, guys. There are companies that are out there that have been saying that they are the anti-traditional real estate brokerage, the anti-traditional real estate agent, the anti-traditional real estate experience for customers. And they've been around for a few years, but it's all been these crazy good years. And we all knew inherently that this was going to happen. And yeah, I get it. I was one of them going, maybe I'm missing something, but we weren't really missing something. And while all of these things are still taking the headlines, what are you doing? Right? The market has changed. We hear that we had the fastest change in inflation, the fastest change in a real estate market. Right now, we have the fastest slowdown of transaction volume. I get it. Transactions just this last week are down 21%. That's nationwide, okay? That's nationwide. These are some of the best markets in the world or in the country. And so, I don't know, I just thought maybe we'd spend a little bit of time this morning talking specifically about what is it that we should be talking about, because let's face it, we are the modern day traditional brokerage. Each and every one of us are modern day traditional real estate agents and brokers. And that is something to be proud of. You are not part of this disruptor world. You are not part of this world that is meant to build a multi-level marketing machine so that you don't have to sell real estate. No, folks, we are real estate agents, and this is what we do for a living. We are the modern day real estate broker. And I wrote down some things. I got 6 things, right? So here's the message. Stop trying to keep up with the Joneses. Listen, folks, there's somebody out there that's going to do a deal for less expensive. It was just about the cost of your commission. Somebody else will do it for $50. I promise you that is true. So don't worry about that. Don't keep up with the Joneses. Be you. You be you. Know who you are if you're going to be you. Know exactly what you stand for. What are your core values? What are your beliefs? Listen, I know we go, oh gosh, don't talk about politics or religion or any of those things. Well, maybe you're right. And if that works for you, great. And if that's part of your world, that's wonderful. But if that's not part of your world, that's wonderful too. You be you. That's what I would say. What do you deliver? We talk about our mission statement is to deliver and create exceptional real estate experiences through the delivery of truly remarkable service. What is it that you are delivering? And can you substantiate that, which is number 4? Can you substantiate that with the data? So give an example, right? Like, who you work with matters. If what we're talking about is how you do your marketing, as an example, can you also substantiate that with data? Can you say, hey, listen, I get this number of leads, I get this many eyeballs, on average my list to sale percentage is this, my average sale is this, my highest sale is that, like whatever it is, right? You've got to use data to substantiate your story. But what is it? And do you know the data, and can you substantiate that or use that to substantiate what it is that you deliver? Can you tell your story better than anybody else? Because let me tell you something, these so-called disruptors, the ones that are all going into the tank right now, they told your story very, very well. In the absence of you being able to tell your story, somebody else will tell it. That's the saying. And they told the story, you were old, you were stodgy, those are the old things, those things don't work. Nobody cares about that stuff. No, it's iBuyer. No, it's online leads, It's not. Hey, folks, it has never changed. No matter what happened with the computer, no matter what happened with the consumer, the age, the demographic, all of these things, the economy, it's never changed. it is still hugely weighted on your list. Do you have a CRM? Is it a strong CRM? Do you have a lot of people in it? What does your sphere of influence look like? How often are you connecting with them? Can you tell that story? We hear about teams, right? Well, do you happen to have a team? So we're going to talk about that in a second. But do you tell that story about how you have a team? Not only do you have a team, but you have a team that actually does, $2 billion in sales. Like, that's a significant team. Tens of thousands of transactions. That's incredible experience. Like, are you telling your story better than your competitors are telling your story? In fact, I would tell my story louder now than ever. Because many of those that have drowned you out and told your story, that have discounted or come up with this snake oil kind of salesmanship, folks, they're going out of business. This morning, well, here, let me just read it. Let's see. Here's a company, Ribbon, makes cuts, leaving fewer than 30 workers. Folks, this is a massive company, iBuyer platform. They are down to 30 staff members. We have more staff members than that. Let's see, where's the other? There's several in here. I don't want to spend time. Oh, yeah, here you go. Pending home sales post record drop as deals die and prices cut. That's going to annihilate some agents. Hopefully not ours, but it's going to hurt somebody. And then, of course, I touched just briefly on it was OfferPad that is going to be delisted likely from the stock exchange. So what is the right story? If we're saying, hey, we got to know our story, we got to tell our story, and frankly, we got to scream our story. What's the right story? Well, number one, now is the time to be the modern traditional agent. Folks, you got to lean in on this. The consumer is looking for certainty. They're looking for comfort. They're looking for peace. They're looking for somebody to remove the anxiety that's associated with doing a transaction. I've done one in the last 12 months. Frankly, I've done two in the last 2 months or 12 months personally. And there's a lot of anxiety there. And so trust me when I tell you, hey, this is it. Like they are looking for you. And you have got to tell them you are a modern traditional agent, which means I get stuff done and I leverage modern tools to get it done, but I get it done just like we have for over 115 years. Talk about a well-balanced lead generation platform, right? If you're working with a buyer or seller for that matter, like if I'm working with a buyer, they want to hear, hey, listen, I deploy these 7 strategies to find the right property for you. I don't just sit back and wait for the MLS to spit something out when everybody else can see it. That's not doing the modern traditional strategy. If I'm talking about selling a property, what are the lead sources, the lead generating strategies that I'm employing to ensure that I'm getting the right exposure? But at the end, it's about not just about exposure, it's about leads, right? So what am I doing? Talk about the data. You've got to be able to substantiate what it is that works and what it is that doesn't work, right? And just telling people isn't enough. What I'd love to see as part of your story is, hey, listen, I do these 17 things as part of my listing marketing. And by the way, I think I might know a little bit about the marketing side since we actually will do it for you, right? But these are the 17, 23, whatever the number of things that you're going to do. Here they are. And here is the outcome. And if you are interviewing other agents, I would ask you to ask them to prove to you what their outcomes are too, because in a contemporary, right, snake oil, which is what we've been in for the last number of years, what you're dealing with is a bunch of people who are telling a good story, but they can't back it up, which is why they're all going into the tank right now. All right, 5, talk about the length of time you've been in the business. Now's the time to talk about, I am old, I am wise, I have stood the test of time, I have seen multiple shifts in the market, my company has seen multiple shifts in the market. You're part of a brand with over 115 years of history. We've seen them all. You're part of an organization that has seen multiple and frankly grew in the Great Recession. You are surrounded by team members and support staff that have all seen multiple shifts. They know exactly what works and what doesn't work. These are really important things to be talking about because remember, 90% of the agents that are currently licensed have never seen a market correction. Think about that for a second. Number 6, talk about the importance of your support team. What is your support team? Folks, we hear it all the time. Teams, that's great. I agree. Teams are really important. The reason that you would go out and build a team, like in the traditional sense that people are talking about today, or maybe not the traditional, right? The new school sense of today is because the brokerage that they're working with doesn't offer traditional sources and support and marketing and TC and all of these things, right? They don't offer it. So as a result, in order to deliver on the experience that the consumer is demanding, they've had to go out and hire their own assistant, marketing person, showing person, like all those things. Okay, well, in your world, you have an entire team of that. And as the market shifts, those teams that are invested heavily financially and time-wise in their support staff are going to either have to grow mightily or they're going to struggle because they don't have the same bandwidth that we do, right? So our marketing people are better marketing people. I said it out loud and I meant it. I have done this for a long time, folks. 20 plus years gives me a lot of insight and wisdom. And I'm telling you right now to go and find an assistant that can also do your TC, that can also be your marketing person is not the same as hiring somebody who is educated and experienced specifically in marketing and finding somebody who is educated and experienced in TC as an example, right? So you've got marketing, you've got adjacent services, we've got a partnership with insurance, we've got a partnership with home security. These are all people that we get to make these introductions that are all bought into making sure that they're going to participate in delivering the greatest experience. And that's what we all stand for, right? Great, exceptional real estate experiences, right? And then of course there's me. You can call me anytime. And I love to help. This is my jam, baby. So like put me in coach. If you want to bounce off ideas, if you want to ask questions, even if you want me to have a conversation with a customer, I'm your guy. And some of you are doing an exceptional job of that. And I think that you're having some success. So if you are, why don't you put something in the notes here or in the comments and share. Number 7, talk about the importance of your education. Folks, you are some of the most educated real estate professionals on the planet. I know we probably downplay it a little bit, but listen, it's well beyond I got my license. All right, I'm talking about luxury certifications and Outlist, Outlast, and Launch, and a whole plethora of other trainings that happen on a weekly basis, whether that be at your sales meeting or through our partnership with the CE shop, or whether that's through CBU. There are tons and tons and tons. And not everybody has access to those things, and certainly not everybody's taking them. And we always talk about ABLE, right? Always be learning everything. So we know that we are some of the most educated. Number 8, talk about having proper online profiles and websites. I spend a lot of time looking people up because part of my job is to reach out and have conversations with agents and owners, both in the brokerage space as well as adjacent companies. And so I'm always kind of giggle as I go through and I look up somebody's name and I look at their websites or I look at their profiles, and they're not awesome. Okay. All you need to do is go look at the Red Company and look at a couple of websites, and you'll find out very quickly that who you work with matters. And you have an entire marketing team that's dedicated to ensuring that the platforms are right and that your profiles are right and Google My Business is right and blah 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 blah. So I would talk about that and make sure that people are doing their research. The consumer, if they're going to be comparing you to somebody else, make sure that you are pointing out the reasons why they should be favoring you. Number 9, talk about having a marketing team to assess and position and strategize and of course execute. I think this is a really important, I already talked about it, but I wanted to put it back in here because I think strategy matters. We've got the CB2, but I hear constantly about how agents are bringing on exceptionally high-end, exceptionally like storied properties, or something that's got some cool component of the listing or what have you. I having a marketing team that has access to all of this stuff, and can help strategize and execute on what these marketing plans, I think is really exceptional. And so I'd be talking about that, because your competitors don't have those teams. They don't have them. And so as a result, they can't compete. So I'd be asking, like, hey, well, I have a team. Here's my marketing team. My marketing team is going to, assess the property, and we're going to talk about the details, and then we're going to go to the brand marketing team and leverage up, and then we're going to put together this plan. They're going to execute on the plan, and here are all the names and faces, and hell, here's our phone numbers, right? And so you can ask your competitor, right? Well, what are they going to do? So number 10. Talk about your open house strategy. Folks, who you work with matters. That's both for us as an organization, but it's also for you as an agent and your customer, right? If you want to have a really tough time, you're going to work with really tough customers. If you're going to be underwhelmed, if I'm a consumer and I'm committed to being underwhelmed, then who I work with matters. If you want an absolute exceptional real estate experience, if you want somebody to deliver you truly remarkable service, well, I'm going to pick a Coldwell Banker Distinctive Properties agent, a Coldwell Banker Commercial Prime Properties agent, and I'm going to leverage their entire team to create an exceptional real estate experience, because these people have been around. They've seen it all. They understand what it means to deliver on these promises. And they, folks, are a modern, traditional brokerage. Hope that helps. As always, be distinctive.